Good morning. It's Phil Thatch. It is 19 degrees Fahrenheit, and I am back here in the back porch blind once again. Today, I'm going to be using my Nikon Z50 and my 100 to 400 super telephoto zoom lens. It's a nice combination for back here. It is cold in here, but look, I have a laptop in here with me, so I'm going to try to do some screen recordings of my photography this morning, so we'll see how that goes. And I also have a heater in here with me, so hopefully at least my feet will be somewhat warm doing this. I'm going to get started and we'll see how this goes. Here's the first screen recording using my laptop that you saw me show you on the porch. You can see I'm in manual mode. I'm shooting high speed, but not high speed plus, autofocus continuous. I'm using a custom box for my focus area, and you can see that I'm in bird eye detect autofocus. My white balance is set to automatic 1. My shutter speed's 1/200th for these shots. I'm at f5.3, which is wide open for this focal length, and my ISO is moving around 2200 or so. Whenever the bottom right says R and 049 or 050, something like that, I'm actually shooting. And when it shows 1.4K or some other number, that's how many photos are left, and I'm not presently shooting. And as is typical with the Nikon Z50 or Z52, the battery's almost dead. I started out with this battery being nearly fully charged. It was showing fully charged, but it wasn't straight off the charger. And before the first bird showed up, the battery was already in the red. But the battery does last a pretty good while when it gets down to the red. But eventually I switched over to a fresh battery that was straight out of the charger, and it worked well for the rest of the morning. Let's look at the photos I made during this blast. All right, there is the little yellow-rumped warbler. Look how cute it is. All these shots are going to be at 320 millimeters, just like you saw on the back of the camera, wide open at 5.3 and 1/200th of a second. A very slow shutter speed. I'm trying to keep my ISO down, and the ISO on this one is 2200, and they go from around this area to 3200. I just went through, I made probably a couple of hundred pictures, even though I was not using the fastest drive mode on the camera and I wasn't shooting the whole time the bird was there. I still ended up making a couple hundred pictures of this bird while you were watching that video clip. And I just kind of went through and picked out the ones that had a good head angle, they were sharp, and they didn't have motion blur, or mainly they were sharp on the eye and they didn't have motion blur. Sometimes you might be sharp around this area and then the eye is not sharp, and I didn't use any of those. So that's what I picked out. That one has a particularly good head angle right there. And so the reason, and look, it's snowing. You can see a little snowflake in the background on there. The reason I shoot at such a low shutter speed is because I know every once in a while I'll get a shot without motion blur and I'll have a relatively low ISO. This one's 3200. Now just imagine if I had made this shot at 1/640th or 1/800th. Probably a lot more of these, a higher percentage of these would be sharp in terms of not having motion blur, but every single one would have much higher ISO. And I know you can control ISO with noise reduction software and get rid of a lot of the noise caused by high ISO, but I would rather have less noise to start with. This is a neat shot. I didn't like the head angle that much, but I like that you can see the yellow patch on the top of the yellow rump warbler's head. And in this shot, you can see the namesake part of the yellow rump warbler. You got the little yellow spot back here on its back end. I enjoyed seeing the yellow rump warbler. It's not one that I see very frequently on the back porch, so I was really happy to see it this morning. And let's see, this is a snowflake right here, and you can see it also in this shot. There it is again. And there it is again in this shot. And I think this is the last of the yellow rump warbler shots. And I think the very last one might be the best one. Here's a screen recording of me making some photographs of the male house finch that came and landed on my stump perch. You can see I'm shooting now, not shooting now, shooting now, not shooting now, shooting now, shooting for a long time, not shooting now, and still not shooting, still not shooting, still not shooting, waiting for the head angle to get good, still not shooting, still not shooting, still not shooting, still not shooting, Maybe I'm done shooting. Oh, shooting now. And not shooting. Shooting again. Shooting again. And gone. Here is the male house finch. It's on the stump perch, my favorite perch on the back porch. I've got it hollowed out and I put bird seed in the top of it. This is 320 millimeters wide open at 5.3 and 1/200th of a second. This is ISO 2000. And I made a few shots of this and picked out the best ones and edited them. I particularly like this head angle right here on this shot. There's another one of the beautiful male house finch. The yellow-rumped warbler returned just briefly and landed on the stump perch, so I thought that was cool. I did not like it on the hand railing where all those pictures were before, but it was a yellow-rumped warbler, so I went ahead and shared them with you. But this is 320 millimeters wide open at f5.3, 1/200th of a second, and 2000 ISO. Here's the male eastern bluebird enjoying some bird seed. I wish it would hop up on that log or the angled perch behind it, but instead it's down on the handrail of the porch, and I still made a few shots from here, which I'll show to you right now. Here's the beautiful male eastern bluebird there on the handrail of the back porch, and you can see some snow from yesterday is left over on the handrail and the bird seed that I put out this morning. And this is 320 millimeters wide open at 5.3, 1/200th of a second, and ISO 220. Now he's going to hop up onto the stump perch, which is a much better location for bird photography, much more beautiful location than on the handrail. And it's just a matter of getting him to turn around so I can get a good head angle, and then I'll make some shots with the Nikon Z52. And now the male eastern bluebird has gone up on the stump perch, and right here, this is a snowflake that it's got motion blur in it as it's landing on the eastern bluebird. This is 320 millimeters f5.3 and 1/200th, 1800 ISO. And in this shot, the snowflake has landed and it looks really nice there on the back of the beautiful male eastern bluebird. Here's another shot. I love this pose with the snowflake still on the back of the head of the beautiful male eastern bluebird. Same settings as before, but I really love this pose. And here's another similar pose. I think I probably like this one better than this one. My next visitor was a European starling, and it was on the suet feeder, not my favorite place to make a photograph. This is the invasive European starling, and I did make a quick burst of it as it was on my suet feeder. And I think my friend Johnny Pink calls these sparkles. And I could see where it would get that name. You know, usually if you see these in the distance, it just looks like a black bird, but there's all sorts of colors and all sorts of white sparkles on this bird. Really beautiful bird. Maybe one day I'll see one in its native land in Europe. This is 250 millimeters wide open at f5, 1/200th of a second, and 1250 ISO. The female eastern bluebird stopped by to visit my stump perch, and I'm always happy to see the eastern bluebirds, even the female whose colors are not as bright as the males. I still think she's beautiful, and hopefully in the spring they'll go into my birdhouse I have out there for them and make some babies. But it's still nice to see them at the bird feeders, where in the summertime they don't come to bird feeders as much. They go and catch their own prey. I don't put out mealworms, and they don't eat the bird seed in the summer nearly as much. Now here is the beautiful, subtly colored female eastern bluebird on the stump perch. These are 250 millimeter shots wide open at f5 and 1/250th of a second. This particular one is ISO 1100, and here's another one at 1100 ISO there on the stump perch. Another one on the stump perch. That's a snowflake falling right there in the background. We had flurries this morning. There she is with a different pose that I'm pretty fond of, still at 1100 ISO. Another pose yet again. I do love the subtle colors on her, and man, that stump perch has been good. I may try to find another stump that has a little more character to it and put it out on the back porch, because I really like the stump perch. It's working well for me. Here's another shot of the beautiful female eastern bluebird at 250 millimeters with the Z50 and the 100 to 400 millimeter lens, and yet another shot, same setting, still 1100 ISO. Here she is kind of hunkered down and looking at us a little bit. She's enjoying that bird seed there in the stump perch for sure. After the stump perch, she went down to the handrail. This is the area directly below the suet feeder, and she nibbled on some fallen suet for just a few moments, and I did manage to make a few photographs of her in this location as well. Let's take a look. And now she's down on the handrail. Now, all of this mess on the top of the handrail is suet. She's directly below the suet feeder. So birds get up there and eat the suet, and it drops down here. And other birds that don't like to hang on the suet feeder will eat it right off the handrail. So that works out good that they can take advantage of it, and I can get shots of them eating the suet in two places. I prefer the handrail over the suet feeder, but I really like it better if they get on one of my actual perches. And here's one more shot of the beautiful female eastern bluebird on the handrail. I love that pose. This is 1250 ISO, 320 millimeters for this one, wide open at 5.3 and 1/250th of a second. There's a lot of action in this screen recording. It starts out with the male eastern bluebird on the stump perch, and after he leaves, I decide to do a little chimping. So I take a look at these pictures and zoom in, check the sharpness, and oh, that's going to be a pretty good one. But then I noticed something was happening, so I went back to shooting, and it was a dark-eyed junco down on the hand railing with unusual colors, not the normal slate color that we see around here. So I'll talk about that a little bit more later in the video, but I made a few shots of this bird. It was hard for me to find a good head angle. He kept having his head turned in the wrong direction, which is not what I like to make a shot of, but I did manage to catch a couple of shots. And then up here, looks like Mr. Bluebird has come back to the stump perch. So I got a couple more shots of him. It's a lot of fun when there's more than one bird on the porch. You have to kind of, which bird do I want to get a shot of more? Which one is in the best location? Which one's giving me the best head angle? And then you kind of just pick and choose and do the best you can to get the best shot at the time. Now the male eastern bluebird has returned to the stump perch for a brief moment. This is 280 millimeters wide open at 5.3, 1/250th of a second, and 1100 ISO. And another shot in that sequence. This one, the ISO has gone up to 1250. I like that head angle there. That's really nice. Now this is a dark-eyed junco. I don't like the area where the bird landed, but I do love this one's color palette. This looks different than the regular slate colored dark-eyed juncos that we get around here. It almost looks like a pink-sided, but I think those are supposed to be way west of here. Maybe it's just an immature one or a female one. I'm not sure, but if you know which version of the dark-eyed junco this is, let me know in the comments. I'd be really interested to hear that. I only got two shots that I liked of this bird. Here's the first one, and here's the second one. This one may have just the tiniest amount of motion blur in it, but I really like the pose. So even though it has just a little bit of motion blur, I decided to go ahead and share it with you. These are 280 millimeters wide open at 5.3 and 1/250th of a second and 1250 ISO. The male eastern bluebird has returned to the stump perch with a beautiful pose at 280 millimeters f5.3 and 1/250th of a second, 1250 ISO. Here's another shot in that sequence with the exact same settings. The dark-eyed junco has arrived on the stump perch. This is definitely not the same bird that I showed you just a moment ago. This has the more traditional slate color, and I definitely bagged a few shots of this bird on the stump perch. And now this is a dark-eyed junco, but this is the color pattern that you normally see around here. This is definitely a slate colored dark-eyed junco, another 280 millimeter shot wide open at 5.3 and 1/250th of a second. Here's another shot in that sequence. I like how it almost looks like it has a tuft here on the back of its head. Same settings, ISO 1100 for this one. And here is another one in that sequence. Same settings again, just beautiful. I always enjoy getting dark-eyed junco shots. When you see them just wandering around with the naked eye, you don't really realize how beautiful they are. But once you can enlarge them with a nice telephoto shot, you can see how beautiful the dark-eyed junco is. This one's kind of looking right at us, and it's got some fluffiness going on in its feathers, and it just looks like it has a tuft in some of these shots. Really cool. Still at 280 millimeters for this one, and one more that looks like it has a little bit of a tuft, 280 millimeters and 1/250th of a second, wide open at 5.3. I have this shot and one more left of the dark-eyed junco photographs, still with the same settings. I think this one is a really interesting pose. This last shot I'm sharing of the beautiful slate-colored dark-eyed junco on my back porch. I was thrilled to see a male downy woodpecker and it only stayed for just a couple of seconds, and I failed to get a photograph. It was starting to get pretty cold out there. I've only been out here for about an hour. I usually like to stay out here all the way till 10 a.m. It's about 8:35. It's just too cold. It's 19 degrees Fahrenheit, -7 Celsius. And I was doing pretty good. I have the heater at my feet. It was keeping my feet warm. And I've got gloves on in the hood, as you can see, in multiple layers. But then the wind picked up and it started getting really windy and blowing my blind around. And it's just too cold. I had a couple of fails. I saw a downy woodpecker twice and didn't get a picture, so that was a little depressing. But otherwise, it's been a pretty good morning. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit thumbs up. If you want to see some more stuff like this, subscribe and hit the bell. Another morning with the Z52 and the 100 to 400 super telephoto zoom lens in my backyard blind. Next time, I hope it's warmer. Have a great day. Bye-bye.